Hi everyone, I'm Taslima Mohammed Yunus. Welcome to our podcast, The Silent Casualty. Today we're discussing an important topic, air pollution caused by war. When people think about war, they usually focus on the immediate damage like destruction and loss of life. But war also has long-term effects on the environment, especially the air we breathe. In this episode, we will be asking questions to better understand how war contributes to air pollution and what impact it has on people and the planet. We are also joined by our teacher today who will be helping answer our question and give us deeper insight. So I'll let him introduce himself and my fellow student. Let's get started.
Hi there, I'm Connor Hutchinson. I teach chemistry and environmental science at Bayview High School.
Hi, my name is Mustaqim Yusuf. I'm a senior in Bayview High School.
Hi, my name is Dilara Begum. I'm senior on Bayview High School.
Hi, my name is Rashida Begum. I'm a senior at Bayview High School and this is my second year at journalism class.
So to begin, we will start with our first set of questions from Rashida.
So today I will ask Mr. Harsh some questions related to health effect. My first question would be, what immediate health effects are linked to exposure to toxic air after bombing?
Sure. I think of a bomb exploding on, let's say, a building or a structure. One of the first things that comes to mind is something called particulate matter, which is when something explodes, it's going to break off into teeny tiny pieces. The smaller those pieces become, the more dangerous it can be to breathe in. So particulate matter, or PM, is rated on how large it is. And it can get into your lungs, into your airways, and cause scarring and exacerbate other issues such as asthma or breathing problems. And then if you look at the chemicals that are inside of the bombs as well, if you're in a more closer vicinity to that, that can also cause problems with people's lungs and breathing.
Thank you so much for answering my questions, and I will have my other fellow members to ask their questions.
Hi, my name is Mustaqim and I'm going to ask, how does poor air quality during war increase respiratory problems in civilians?
So respiratory problems, I think of definitely breathing in your lungs with not only the particulate matter and all the little things that are scarring lungs that make it more difficult to breathe, all these other chemicals that are released in an explosion or in production of the materials for that can release things like sulfur dioxide or other chemicals that will react with sunlight when getting hot and exposed to greater temperatures and create something called photochemical smog, which when you breathe that in as well can further damage your lungs.
My next question is, what happens to air quality when industrial and chemical faculties are damaged in war?
So you think of during war, or especially if we're thinking of the current war with the United States and Iran, we think Iran is a major source of fossil fuels. And if you just think of the normal production of fossil fuels or any factory that creates different substances, that you're going to have exhaust and things that are put into the atmosphere, but they're set up to have scrubbers or things that reduce the amount of pollution that gets emitted. When you think of something like war, all of those safeguards are bypassed because it's all about going quick and getting the biggest reaction from what you're going for. So I just think in a regular factory operating, you'll have these scrubbers or these things cleaning it, but with war, it's going to be bypassed.
My last question is, how does long-term exposure to war-related air pollution affects public health?
So when I think of like public health, I just think of more people being exposed to this. So the chances of an individual being exposed to particulate matter go up, or these toxic chemicals, and I think that can affect an entire population and prevent the health of the greater population or civilians in that area.
Okay, since you brought up Iran, I have a questions like that just come from my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you think they will have long-term effect, like on them because like they are having a lot of like bombs being thrown, like missiles and other stuff being thrown at their country. Do you think those people will have like longer health problem than other countries that are not being exposed to like bomb and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. That makes me think of not only environmental health or being exposed to chemicals in the air, but also psychological. You think like that could have an impact on the way you go about your life after just being exposed to such harsh conditions too.
Thank you so much for answering that. I will have another one to ask you questions.
What are long-term environmental impact after war ends?
So you think a lot of bombs go off, you think explosions go high up into the air. So I think what we're talking about now is a lot of air pollution, but what goes up must come down. You think that pollution is going to settle, and it can settle in different areas, whether it be in a city or in, let's say, an ecosystem where it can go into the soil. Now, if you think of air pollution, that's going to go away relatively quick as soon as that pollution source, such as these bombs or these weapons, go away. But as it settles into the soil, it can then start getting into living things and then really ingrain itself into that ecosystem.
Okay, so the last question I will ask that: can environment fully recover after war, or is it permanent damage?
I think I think of the environment as a living thing, and living things can adapt, but there will be consequences of it. I think it can be very fragile with the ecosystem. So I think, in my opinion, yes, it can adapt, but maybe not go back to the same way it was before.
A recent analysis by the Climate and Community Institute, as reported by the Orlando Sentinel, highlights the devastating environmental toll of the current conflict, framing it as a direct war on the climate. Preliminary modeling estimates that just the first 14 days of the war produced over 5 million metric tons of carbon dioxide, a carbon footprint equivalent to driving 1.1 million gas-powered cars for an entire year. Beyond the immediate destruction, the long-term impact is even more staggering. Researchers estimate that the greenhouse gas emissions required to rebuild Gaza and Lebanon will be at least 24 times greater than the emissions generated by the warfare itself, illustrating how modern conflict creates a massive, multi-generational conflict debt.
We would like to thank you, Mr. Hodge, for sharing his thought and helping us to have a better understanding of the topic. And thank you for all listening to our podcast. We hope you learned something new today. See you in our next episode. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.